Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Yeah, you know what it is. Hard worker, scrappy, unfiltered, and sometimes unhinged football content. Hard to explain, but you know it when you see it. Doing it daily our way. I don't know what you're talking about right now. Redraft and Dynasty Fantasy Football, we got you covered. You know their defense is ranked like 31st in the NFL? NFL draft prospects and rookies? Now you know you in the right place for that.
Absolutely.
All right, then stop saying it. Then we're done. And prop bets with my man Jay Rich. Count that money, man. Now wipe the crust out of your eyes. Get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake your ass up with Ray G. You honestly are making absolutely no sense, and you sound silly as hell. Good morning, 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 good people. It is Thursday, April the 14th, 2022, and y'all decided to wake y'all asses up with Ray G. And for that, I appreciate you, Matt Bruning in the building, Ty, Dalton, James, Dynasty Barry, Rose in the building, Adrian, Courtney, Brandon, KBD in the building, Big Shy, Dylan, Jakob Pirtle is in the building, Jacob is in the building, Patrick Price, Timothy, Top Dog, Craig, appreciate y'all being here, Ricardo, main event, Jasmine, what up, gang, Jay, it is our Friday, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Happy to be here. I'm excited. This mock is a little disgusting, to be honest. I'm not a participant, so I'm just an observer like everybody else here. You know, we're reviewing a mock based off of the mock draft put out by Jordan Reed, so we're doing a single QB rookie mock today. It's a little ugly. I got to be honest. We're going to have some thoughts for sure.
Do we still have
a show? I'm excited.
Do we still have we got the draft capital in the rounds, right? Or do we still have is it still in the notes, Reed's mock? Where some of these guys went?
It's on the graphics. It's on the graphics. But then the rest of it is all in the sheet that we did the draft on.
Yeah. So we got Jordan Reed's mock that we got to take a look at. But before we do that, we got some new mock draft information from one Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper put out a mock, Jay. Mel Kiper, the landing
2 rounds.
Big Melly in the building. Big Melly, you wanna run through some of that, Jay?
Sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Let's go.
So Mel, put out a mock draft, and let's start right at the top. Malik Willis went at 6, which for us is a bit of a change because we've seen him go at 2 a lot. And then in the corresponding move, we see Garrett Wilson go to Atlanta at number 8. Drake London go to 10 to the Jets. Chris Olave, who, Ray, I know you're a big fan of, going to Philly at 15. Jamison Williams at 19, with the Saints having 2 first-round picks now. Kenny Pickett to Pitt at 20. Christian Watson to Green Bay at 22. Treylon Burks to Arizona at 23. And Jahan Dotson at 26. This rounds out our first round. These are all the offensive players that were taken in Mel's mock. A little bit different from what we've seen. The spiciest take, though, Christian Watson over Treylon Burks. How do you feel about that, Ray?
It's weird, man, you know? Christian Watson hype has reached fever pitch levels, and it's interesting that they send away or not re-sign Marquez Valdez-Scantling just to draft Marquez Valdez-Scantling. It seems a little odd, but I guess, man. I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm looking at some other wide receivers that could have been selected in this spot for Green Bay, and I just don't know if Christian Watson is the best fit. You know, I get the athleticism is through the roof, but we also know that there's little to no correlation between, you know, high-end athletes and fantasy success for the wide receiver position. So, little spicy. The Malik Willis to Carolina pick is an interesting one. Who did he have at 2? If Malik didn't go at 2, who was Mel's number 2 overall pick in this mock?
Sauce Gardner went at 2.
Sauce Gardner. All right, Sauce Gardner went at 2. I don't know, Jay. I mean, what do you think about it? I don't know, man.
I think that I've been right for a long time, and I will have 0 Christian Watson. I think this is just what it's going to be. You know, I told you, and I think I even said on the show, it's not that I have disdain or dislike for Christian Watson, but I just can't take him that high. So if he goes in the first round, way up there to Green Bay.
Wait a minute.
You've been right. A first round pick.
What have you been right about?
I'm gonna say I've been right. I've been right in the assessment that I don't think I will have any Christian Watson. When I was telling you, because I think he's just going to go too high in drafts. You know, if he's going, he may go ahead of Jahan Dotson, he may go ahead of Sky Moore, he may go ahead of George Pickens, who went in the second round of this draft. So for me, I just think I'm out. I think I'm not going to end up taking him in any drafts. He's just going to go too high.
Confused.
I'm just not going to take him. That's just where I'm at.
I'm
just
just
where
a
I'm
little,
at. Outside of it, I was happy with it. I thought it was okay.
Just a little confused by you being right, because you didn't even think he'd be a top 64 pick, let alone go ahead of any of these guys. So I'm just a tad confused on how you're right on this one. But
I'm definitely right. I'm definitely right. Don't you tell me I'm wrong now. But J-Mo to New Orleans, though, we both like that. We both like J-Mo to New Orleans, and we'll get into that a little bit later when we get to round 2.
Yeah, so J-Mo to New Orleans, Kenny Pickett to Pittsburgh. I mean, let's just play the game here. Would you rather Pickett in Pittsburgh or Pickett in Carolina?
Pickett in Pittsburgh by a mile. Organization, talent, coaching, development. It's just the problem for Pittsburgh is they don't trade up. So if no QB falls to them, they go another direction. If a QB falls, whether it's Pickett or Malik, I think they take that quarterback, and they're in a much better situation than they'd be in Detroit or Carolina by far.
We do have a super chat question from our man James. We'll get to that at the end of the show. We got it favorited, so James, we will holler at you at the end of the show. And let's take a look at Mel Kiper's second round. So his updated top 64. He's got Breece Hall going to the Jets at 38, Desmond Ridder to Seattle, the Washington Commanders taking George Pickens, the New Orleans Saints grabbing Matt Corral in the second, Kansas City going with Sky Moore, Pittsburgh takes John Mechie, Green Bay goes back to the undeveloped wide receiver pool and takes Antoine Pierce at 53. Kenneth Walker to Buffalo. Jalen Tolbert to Kansas City. If I'm a Chiefs fan and they walked away with Sky Moore and Jalen Tolbert as their Tyreek Hill quote-unquote replacements, I'd be pretty disappointed. Cincinnati gets some people's tight end 1 out of UCLA, Greg Dulcich, and then Denver goes with Trey McBride. So I saw some Dynasty rankings where Albert Okuigbunam is Dynasty tight end number 5. This would probably spoil a little bit of that parade from old PFF throwing Albert O at tight end 5 in Dynasty. What do you think about the second round of this one?
I thought it was interesting. I like the Sky Moore pick. Obviously, there's availability there. There's targets, and I think he could play outside. I do like the Mechie pick as well. I think Mechie could be a guy who replaces Juju to some respect.
John Mechie, man.
Hold on.
This John Mechie thing.
I'm trying to explain the role. I think the role for him fits very well. I think it's a situation that he could really thrive in. And then you talk about Matt Corral. I mean, Jameson Williams, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. No, man. We were talking when I saw the mock. I was like, how high does he go? Because maybe Sean Payton's not there. And for me, that's a small factor. I like me some Sean Payton. But the offense is
yeah.
And then the other thing I thought about when I saw this was Trey McBride. Like, at that point, is he even tight end 1? Because he's probably playing behind Albert O on Denver, target competition, all these things. Like, I don't know. But the Saints, that would be big pick.
I asked you this question. We talked about first-round quarterbacks, and those being locks for high superflex rookie draft picks. If Corral hit a landing spot like New Orleans, right, with those weapons around them, where would you feel about Corral? Like second-round quarterback, middle of the second, wasn't even at the top of the second. That was, he picked 49? So right there in the middle of the second round, where are you at if Corral lands in New Orleans with, MT, with Jameson, with Kamara? How would you feel about Matt Corral?
I think he would probably be somewhere around the 107, 108 spot is where I'd peg him to start. And then it just kind of depends. It would be difficult for me to take Corral over Garrett Wilson, over Drake London when they're top 10 picks, it's easy to fade them because they're wide receivers. But in the same token, I'm like, but look at the success of top 10 picks over the last couple of years. And I think it's just known in the NFL now that if you take a guy in the top 10, you're probably going to get him the ball a lot. He's probably going to produce as long as the talent, situation, all that stuff kind of lines up. So for me, I think those are two guys I definitely take. I think there's a case to be made for the running backs. We didn't see Isaiah Spiller go here. We saw Kenneth Walker go to Buffalo. We saw Breece Hall go to the Jets. I think those are two situations where they would be ahead of them. Malik in Carolina over Corral. It's do I trust the team or the draft capital? Because I love the Saints, trust the team a ton. Don't trust Carolina. Does that vault Corral above Malik in my rankings? I don't think so, but I think it puts them a lot closer than I expect them to be, especially with Corral being in the second round. I didn't project him to come up that high. But if he goes to the Saints, man, with J-Mo, all bets are off. That's a dope roster right there.
So this question got dropped a couple of times, or at least inferred to a couple of times. If this draft played out this way, with Breece Hall going at the top of the second to the Jets and Kenneth Walker going at the back of the second to the Bills, would this push Walker above Hall? I'm sure it would for a lot of people. It wouldn't for me.
Yeah.
But I'm sure a lot of people would see that landing spot and say, yeah, Kenneth Walker. Where the reality is, I still don't know. I mean, does Josh Allen target the running back a ton? Who's getting the goal line work? I don't think it would bury Devin Singletary. I'm still taking Breece Hall as RB1. I don't care. I don't even know if it's the same sort of conversation that I had with Kansas City drafting a running back a couple of years ago. What we learned is that offense is going to run through Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Like, as good as whatever running back is, they're just going to turn around and hand said running back the ball 25 times a game. It's not happening. Like, it's not going to happen. And then if Josh Allen, instead of hyper targeting the running back out of the backfield, is pulling it down and running, it's still it wouldn't change for me. Breece Hall would still be one, and if you got any discount at the 102, I would have my fingers crossed that if I had 102, that somebody at 101 would take Kenneth Walker over Breece Hall. It'd be a hard no for me in that situation. I think Breece Hall has pretty much cemented himself as the top dog at the running back position, period, regardless of landing spot. So it's just interesting to check out old Mel's mock. But we're gonna go back to Jordan Reed's mock that we looked at in the first part of this week on Monday. And just a quick reminder, first round picks in Jordan Reed's mock: Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, J-Mo, Chris Olave, Treylon Burks, Jahan Dotson were first-round picks in Jordan Reed's mock. Second-round pick players, we had Christian Watson, Matt Corral, Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, Sky Moore, George Pickens, John Mechie, Jalen Tolbert, Breece Hall, Trey McBride, and Jelani Woods. So no Kenneth Walker in the first or second round of Jordan Reed's mock. And I'll just run through the third round real quick, and then we'll get into the mock. Third round, Greg Dulcich, Kenneth Walker, Calvin Austin, Alec Pierce, Khalil Shakir, Isaiah Spiller, Wan'Dale Robinson, David Bell, Carson Strong, James Cook, and Isaiah Likely were all third-round picks per Jordan Reed of ESPN. So based on these landing spots, based on the draft capital, we conducted a four-round single QB, one quarterback. For all the lovers out there, we had to satisfy y'all too. One quarterback draft. Let's get it. Let's get into it. First round. What did it look like, Jay? Here we go. Breece Hall, 101. Go ahead, Jay. You take it.
All right, Breece Hall, 101. Kenneth Walker, 102. Drake London, 103. Isaiah Spiller, 104, despite having third-round draft capital. Garrett Wilson, 105. Jamison Williams, 106. Treylon Burks, 107. George Pickens, 108. Chris Olave, 109. Jahan Dotson, 110. Christian Watson, 111. And Sky Moore rounding out the top 12. Receivers.
Yeah.
Name of the game. What's that? 8 receivers in the first, or 9 receivers in the first round with 3 running backs. No quarterbacks, no tight ends.
Yeah.
I expect nothing less in the first round of these 1 QB leagues. Ray, was there any picks here that surprised you? I believe you had the Pickens pick at 108. If I recall correctly, and I remember even when we were talking about it and you asked me, I could see a world where
who'd you have? I had Garrett Wilson. I was 105. I had Garrett Wilson.
Look at you. I didn't like Garrett Wilson. What's up with that? I thought he was your wide receiver 4.
Oh man, he's tier 1. He's tier 1, baby. The ranking off the film is irrelevant at this point. He's tier 1. I had Garrett Wilson. The one that surprised me, and I think he should be a first rounder in single quarterback leagues, but I wouldn't have taken him at 104, would probably be Spiller. I'd probably be targeting him right after Treylon at 107. So if you said Spiller was 108 instead of George Pickens and just move everybody down a little bit, I'd be fine with that. That one was a little shocking, but listen, they have no damn running back. None whatsoever. And per Jordan Reed's mock, he was picked, middle of the third round. So Kenneth Walker came off the board at 68. Spiller came off the board a little bit after that. Like, yeah, man. I just think it's a little high. I wouldn't take him over Garrett Wilson. Wouldn't take him over J-Mo. Wouldn't take him over Treylon. But right there, sandwiched in between Treylon and George Pickens. I think that's where I would have felt a little more comfortable, but I get it. Running back, third round draft capital, hit rate, tons of opportunity in Atlanta. I get why that selection was made. And that pick was made by Adam, one half of the 4D chess guys. So, they love their running backs, and he's the one that took Isaiah Spiller at 104.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. I think, you can't just pass up on these first-round wide receivers, maybe outside of Jahan Dotson. I think it's interesting to see a scenario where, you have Pickens and Olave ahead of Dotson, but Dotson was actually the one who was a first-round pick. And so I'm curious if for some reason that was to play out in the real draft, where Dotson would kind of fall, because it seems like he keeps getting mocked in the first round, but it's not pushing up his draft capital. We've seen him mock to Tennessee, we've seen him mock to Kansas City, that late first round pick potentially, but it's not pushing him up in draft capital versus Pickens goes to Green Bay with Chris Olave, and all of a sudden he's a first round pick, right behind Treylon Burks and the first round wide receivers. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Overall, I'm with you on Spiller. I think you should have went behind all the first rounders, at least the high end. I was going
to ask you that. I was going to ask you, was it a little too high? Like, I get it, right? Third round draft capital to Atlanta. It's just Cordero Patterson. There's no talent there whatsoever. It's Patterson, it's Pitts, it's P and P, push and P, Patterson and Pitts. That's all they got. So for me, I love them. I love the tape. I tweeted about it, man, and I call it die on the hill, whatever you want. Like, you watch the tape, and it's hard to deny how good he is on the field with his movements. Dane Brugler, one of the best in the business. I mean, he said overall needs to work on his pad level, and, you're not going to get 80-yard runs from him, but his footwork, his vision, his patience is outstanding, and he's got all the tools to be a three-down back in the NFL. But I don't think I could take him over Garrett, J-Mo, or Treylon Burks. I think 108 is where I would have taken Spiller. But, Evan said Spiller easily 1 QB in the top half with third-round draft capital. And per this mock, it was the same draft capital as Kenneth Walker. Sky Moore in the first was a little... Really? I get it, man. I get it. You've talked about it multiple times. You don't trust what Chicago's doing. You have no faith in Chicago. It's Darnell Mooney. It's Cole Kmet. It's Justin Fields. I guess when you look at the players after shit, who else are you going to take, right?
Pull up the second round and people will see.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
There's not a whole lot of options here.
All right, let's go round two. And Jazz said no Malik in round one, forgot his landing spot. Per this mock, Jazz, he went number 2 overall to Detroit. So we're about to see Malik come off the board real soon. So here we go. This is round 2. We've got Alec Pierce coming off the board at 201. Malik Willis at 2-2. Justin Ross at 2-3. Yuck. Matt Corral at 2-4. James Cook to Miami at 2-5. Pierre Strong to Kansas City at 2-6. Kenny Pickett, Carolina, 2-7. Jalen Tolbert, he was drafted by Dallas in the third round. Dallas in the third round at 2-8. David Bell.
Round.
Oh, Dallas in the second round. Please, let's not do that, Dallas. David Bell was the third round pick of the Detroit Lions. He went 209. Zamir Zeus White, 210. Trey McBride, 211. And John Mechie, 212. And for some context for those of you guys watching this, Alec Pierce was selected by Cleveland in the third round. Justin Ross was selected in the fourth round by Jacksonville. James Cook was selected in the third round by Miami. Pierre Strong was selected where was Strong selected? In the fourth round?
Fourth round, yeah.
Fourth round. Pierre Strong was a fourth round pick in this mock. No, Strong wasn't a fourth rounder. Strong was a third rounder. He was a third round pick. Oh, that's Carson Strong. Pierre Strong, yes. Kansas City in the fourth round. All right. Jalen Tolbert, second round. We talked about David Bell. Where did Zamir White go? Zamir White was a fifth round pick. He was a fifth round pick by the Jets. Trey McBride, second round pick, and then John Mechie was also where was John Mechie picked at? Second round pick? Yeah, second round pick by your Patriots. You would just love that. Mechie to New England. What are our thoughts here with the second round of this single quarterback mock? I'll tell you right now, I like the middle and back half much more than I like the top 4 picks. I just don't. Fourth rounder, Justin Ross to Jacksonville at 2-3. Yikes.
So what is it about you that likes the back half? So I'll just give you my thoughts overall and a little bit from this spot. It's like you see where it's at, and all I see is a bunch of third round picks. I don't see any second round picks outside of maybe Malik Willis if you think he should go in the second round. to me, it's just if you're in the second round, I'd be trading back for a third and a fourth, or trading for future second, maybe even future first if you're lucky. I just do not want to take Alec Pierce, Malik Willis, Justin Ross, Matt Corral, James Cook, Pierre Strong. Like, maybe if you like Pierre Strong in Kansas City and you want to go that route, I don't hate it at 2-6. But a lot of these guys are back end seconds, early thirds as far as what I think the value will ultimately end up being. So it is what it is. I don't love Alec Pierce at 2-1. I don't love Justin Ross. But if you feel strongly about it, and you obviously in this draft have no choice, there's no trade in, you got to take somebody. But for me, it's just disgusting.
I think the best 3 picks in this round were James Cook to Miami, and I get there's a bunch of backs back there, but who's counting on Raheem Mostert to stay healthy at 30 years old? I love Pierre Strong to Kansas City, and per Jordan Reed's mock, man, the dude got 4th round draft capital to Kansas City, and he's probably a better running back than Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Ronald Jones. Yeah. So I'm in on Pierre Strong. And then I also like Zamir White to the Jets. Now, you can look at this one or two ways. If they don't take a running back into the 5th round, then if you have Michael Carter, you should feel very safe, very confident that you've got some Michael Carter, right? And if you've got Zamir, there's a good chance for him to be the 1B to Michael Carter, right? They utilize MC more in the passing game. He's the starting back, but Zamir White, I think he would have an opportunity to carve out a role in that offense. So for me, in that second round of the single quarterback mock, those were my favorite picks in round 2, Jay.
So my only question to you, right, and we'll get into this in a second anyways, but Jerome Ford was actually drafted in the 4th round by the Jets, so even higher than Zamir White, right? And so I was interested to see kind of how that shook out. And I understand people like Zamir White more, but maybe you just lean on that draft capital and take Jerome Ford if he's a higher draft pick than Zamir White. Or if you're getting Jerome Ford at a discount, I'd consider it, right? Barry Sanders dad bod. Come on, that's mean. I like Pierre Strong, man. He's looking good out there. He's looking good. Looking strong.
Yeah, man.
How do you feel about David Bell at 209? I think that's okay. I don't think it's terrible.
I mean,
Nothing.
He's what? They drafted Christian Watson already. They got David Bell. I mean, what? I just don't like it, man. I just don't. I guess. I mean, what role?
John Mechie, value.
What
New
role
England
is that?
Wide receiver 1.
What role does David Bell play in Detroit? Like, where does he slot in?
I know what it is. You want me to tell you? Are you excited?
Tell me.
Quintez Cephas. That's the role he fills. He fills Quintez Cephas' old role behind the ex-receiver in Kenny Golladay and now DJ Shark. That's probably what he is realistically. So,
all right. Well, let's take a look at round 3 where it gets even dirtier. So let's do that. Round 3. All right, let's do some reminders here. So Khalil Shakir was selected in the 3rd round, and he is the first pick off the board here at 301. Jerome Ford, the aforementioned Jerome Ford, was selected in the 4th round of Jordan Reed's mock. He comes off the board at 302 to the Jets. Greg Dulcich, or Dolce, somebody told me I never pronounce his name correctly. I try very hard. He was a 3rd round pick, top of the 3rd round pick at that. So he goes to the Giants. I like that landing spot. The Giants need a tight end, so there we go. Everybody's favorite wide receiver, Jelani Woods, goes to Cincinnati. And I just don't think he's that good of a player. Great athlete, don't think he's that good of a player. New York Giants select a Saquon Barkley backup in Rachaad White. So Rachaad White to the Giants. And in this mock, Rachaad White was selected in the 5th round, at the top of the 5th round by the Giants. So later on in day 3, and I know a lot of people have Rachaad White mad high in their rankings. I think people are going to be real disappointed when he's a day 3 pick. I don't think he's coming off the board on day 2. And everybody out there that's got Rachaad White inside their top 10, good luck with that one. Calvin Austin, 306 to Atlanta. And in this mock, Atlanta took him high in the 2nd round. So there you go. Another wide receiver. Yeah, 3rd round, 3rd round, high in the 3rd round. So day 2 draft capital for Calvin Austin. Tyler Algier is the new backup to Javonte Williams in Denver. And Algier came off the board in the 4th round, top of the 4th round. Desmond Ridder to Indy. Ridder was a 2nd round pick. Romeo Doubs. Don't even know where he came off the board in Reed's mock. Where was Doubs? Doubs was a 4th rounder.
He was a 4th rounder.
Was not impressed at all at the Senior Bowl with Dubs. We'll see how that plays out. He's got a good quarterback to play with in Matt Ryan. Philadelphia goes with Brian Robinson, further killing the prospectus of Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell and every other running back in that backfield that they're going to deploy in this platoon along with Jalen Hurts. And Brian Robinson was a fifth-round pick, middle of the fifth-round pick. Arizona. Kyron Williams was a sixth-round pick, I believe, Jay, in this mock. Yep, Kyron Williams came off the board at 201. So a middle of the sixth-round pick, Kyron Williams goes 311. And then Sam Howell to Washington, and Sam Howell was a second-round pick per this mock. So what do you think about the third round, which surprisingly, it kind of looks a little better than the second round? I don't know. What do you think?
100%.
What do you think?
100% it does. It's the value. It's, I love taking quarterbacks in the third round of single quarterback leagues. So Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, I really like those picks. Again, they may be nothing, but if they start, you get a pretty good pick for a third rounder. Shakir, I like, he's run some good routes. He's a productive player, late breakout, but at the end of the day, playing in Houston, you have a shot to get opportunity. I talked about Jerome Ford already being a value compared to taking Zeus White in the second. Algier is a handcuff, not terrible. Brian Robinson, same thing. Jordan Howard truthers are just punching air right now, seeing Brian Robinson go to Philly. And then Kyron, Kyron, the tape.
He said Jordan Howard truthers. That's me. I'm a Jordan Howard truther. Jordan Howard's so good.
Hey, man, people still like Jordan Howard. They still want him to play. But
Miss McDaniel's in the building. Brees's mom's in the building. Miss McDaniel's in the building. Good morning to you. Hope you have a great day, Miss McDaniel. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry, I just had to give a shout out.
We love to talk about Brees, but we got that out of the way a long
time ago.
If
you just tapped in, Miss McDaniel, we already your son got talked about 25 minutes ago. He was at the beginning of the show. He was the first pick. Just so she could see it. There he is, right there at the top. Brees Hall, right at the top. All right, go ahead, Jay.
But yeah, outside of that, Sam Howell's an okay pick. Romeo Doubs, I don't know. Again, I think like we talk about, take those running backs in the middle of the third, fourth round pick, just because that's a better shot, higher hit rate. I remember I was listening to your podcast with Larky, and Larky said there was 2 times, right? It was 15%, I believe, for the running backs to be something, and it was 7% for the wide receivers. So take those running backs late, follow the data, follow the probabilities, and that's just what you're going to do. That's just how you win, man.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it, though? I was kind of like iffy on it.
I mean, I still like Brian Robinson, man. I don't know why. I just think he's going to be a solid NFL back. Like I don't think he's going to be
A on the helmet. That's what you like.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Is
100%,
it the Bama? No, 100%. Man. He's no. He
name a Bama running back who was no good outside of Trent Richardson in like the last 10 years.
Bo Scarborough. Glenn Coffey.
He had his moment though.
Glenn Coffey.
Scarborough had his moment. He had his sell window, right?
Yeah,
but he had a sell window.
Glenn Coffey. You don't even know
Brian Robinson will have a. I don't know.
You don't even know who. I keep saying the name.
Brian Robinson will have a sell window, and that's why taking him is important. He will have a sell window. That to me, I think, is why you take him. But it's that A on the helmet, bro. It's the coaching. It's Nick. He's gonna be a Patriot. I just know it. I just believe it.
All right. We didn't do a graphic for the fourth round because it was just Jay said we're not even doing it. So fourth round. Let me just pull it up, or you sent me a screenshot of it, right? Let me.
I could just read it off if you want.
Well, let me just put it on here. Let me just put it on the screen. I can just drag it and drop it, and let's look at the fourth round. They don't get anything nice. All right, here we go. Fourth round: Dameon Pierce, Ty Chandler, Tyler Batty, Kyle Phillips, Charlie Kohler, Bam Knight, Isaiah Likely, Hassan Haskins, Wan'Dale Robinson, Tyquan Thornton, Sincere McCormick, and the tight end from Maryland. We will get his name right one day. He wasn't even in the drop-down menu. I think somebody just had to type him in. What do you think about the fourth round?
Actually, one of my favorite picks was Wan'Dale Robinson.
I like that.
I know I've been kind of disparaging Wan'Dale a little bit, but he went to Philly, and he went in the third round of this mock draft. So if you get a third-round draft pick in the fourth round of a rookie draft, that's a smash. That's a play bet you want to make, right? The one thing that I was surprised, I didn't see Carson Strong. Carson Strong was a third-round pick and went to New Orleans in this mock, and still nobody drafted him. I mean, I don't know. I thought that was kind of surprising. Outside of that, you see some backup tight ends, some okay running backs. Dameon Pierce I like, so it was good to see him. Ty Chandler, I believe, went to the Rams, so really, really good pick there. sixth rounder, but to the Rams, if something happens with Cam Akers and somehow Ty Chandler
Joe
gets an
would love it.
opportunity.
Joe's all in on Ty Chandler to the Rams because, the disdain for one Cam Akers. So she'd be all over that pick, man. I like Ty Chandler. He's one of my sleeper guys. I like him. So I actually, like, no BS, I actually like that spot for Ty Chandler. Like, I think there's a world in which Darrell Henderson gets hurt, as he always does, and Cam Akers isn't as effective, and then Ty Chandler gets a shot to play. So I like that one. Dameon Pierce, it's weird because it's like one day we hear like he's much higher in NFL circles, and then the next day it's like nobody wants him. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I am, as time goes on, I am a little more intrigued by Tyler Batty. I think he could be very good in PPR formats because he's a really good pass catcher. He's a solid runner. Did it in the SEC. Tested fine. I kind of like him, man. I'm kind of in on him. So in the fourth round at 403, like we talked about with Josh Larkey, I'm just taking dart throws on running backs. Give me all the Batty. Give me Hassan Haskins, the bruising slug that won't do anything but run up the gut. But give me Haskins. Sincere McCormick was interesting because he went to the Chargers in this mock. And I keep talking about the Chargers needing to find a Justin Jackson. Who's the other guy that was all hyped up that didn't do shit?
Larry Roundtree.
Not Round. The other one from UCLA. Josh Kelly. Joshua Kelly. They've got to find somebody else. So I kind of like Sincere McCormick to the Chargers. Late pick, low hit rate, very, very low. But I'd be willing to take a shot on a landing spot like that. Give me Sincere McCormick in LAC, and I'll put him on the back of the bench and see what happens. Some notable players that weren't selected that I don't think a lot of gamers are hip to game with. Bo Melton in the 6th round of San Francisco. I think he's going to be solid, man. I like Bo Melton. Bo Melton's all right. I like the pick of Jacksonville of Grant Calcaterra, the tight end out of SMU. Velus Jones wasn't selected. He was a 5th-round pick per Jordan Reed. And then Kevin Austin, the big wide receiver out of Notre Dame, was a top 150 pick in the 4th round, and he was not selected in this mock. So there's the one quarterback mocks that everybody wanted to see. One more time, 1st round. There you go. Get a quick look at it. Back half of the 1st, you get your Christian Watson, your Sky Moore, and all the guys that we always talk about, Hall, Walker, London, Wilson, J-Mo. In the 2nd round, had a little Alec Pierce at the top, James Cook and Pierre Strong coming off the board in the middle of the 2nd. Zamir White back of the 2nd round, along with Trey McBride, John Mechie. We see Jalen Tolbert sprinkled in there. Kenny Pickett in a 1-quarterback league at 207. I don't know, man.
I still think it's too high, personally.
I don't know about that one. Who did that? That wasn't me, right? Yeah, I don't know if I could do that in a single quarterback league because it doesn't really give you anything on the ground, right? 3rd round, I like the 3rd round, man. I like some of the value there. Well, real quick, what are your thoughts on Kyren, man? Like, where are you at with him overall? He's going to be a day 3 pick. He's going to be a day 3 pick. He's undersized. He's not very athletic, but he can play football very well, and we know that. We see that. But where are you at with Kyren, man?
Yeah, it's tough. It's like you said, he could legitimately. I think there's a real chance he's a 6th or 7th round pick, and at that point, the hit rate is just so low. You're really just betting on the tape. Late 3rd, I don't think you can go wrong because if you take him there. It's not like you're just finding this sleeper running back from no-name school. Like, this is a high-end talent who produced at the college level that a lot of people really liked until he tested. So, yes, you're betting against probability and hit rates, but you're betting on talent, and I don't think that's a bad situation in the 3rd round. Even if for some reason you had the conviction to take him early 3rd, I'd be like, you know what? Shoot your shot. It's a 3rd-round pick. Who cares? Take Kyren, right? But to get him at the back of the 3rd, I think that's great value. I know you could take someone ahead of him. I talked about some of those quarterbacks I did like, taking in the 3rd round. Not so much in the 2nd round, but I don't mind Kyren there. I think it's a fine pick. At the end of the day, we're talking about late round selections here. We talk about Brian Robinson late. We're talking about Kyren Williams late, Ty Chandler late. Like, if it was me, man, I'm just trading these mid-seconds, even some of the early seconds in these 1-quarterback leagues. Trade him back and then just shoot your shot because then it doesn't matter, right? In the 2nd, you feel this pressure to make a good pick and make it count. 3rd round, 4th round, just pick running back, shoot your shot, man. That's just where I'm at with this whole thing.
Okay. All right. Well, so I just want to throw this out there. I'm going to put him on the spot. I'm putting him on the spot. Where's Cody Carpentier at? Where's Cody's ass at? Let's get Cody in here. All right, so Cody said Beatty Batty is this year's Michael Carter. He won't be a 4th-round pick in 3 weeks. I tend to agree with that. But Jay, so I've been reaching out to some people behind the scenes, and I found out that Cody's got a new mock draft dropping either tomorrow or this weekend. So I extended the invitation for him to come on Wake Up and defend his mock. So I think he accepted the invitation. I don't think Cody's scared. I think Cody wants to get it in. So I think we're going to have our first Wake Up guest, on the show. Cody might be joining us this Monday for us to review and mock the mock and talk about some awesome landing spots and some ones that we're a little questionable on. But I think we're gonna have Cody jump on the show Monday. Jay, can we get a little thing made with his name and shit like that so it looks consistent? We don't do this. We don't do this often. We don't have people on with us often. But I think Cody taps in enough. He knows what he's talking about. So let's dive into that new Cody Carpentier mock on Monday. You want to do that?
Absolutely, man. I love Cody. I love the work he does, and I'm excited to actually challenge him on some of his picks. Right? A lot of the times we just read these mocks, we give our analysis, nobody ever sees it. But now we're going face to face with the mock. We're going into the mind of the mock, and
we're going into the mind of the mocker. The mind of the mocker. Yeah. There we go.
And we're gonna mock the mocker a little bit. We'll have some fun with Cody, but more importantly, man, it's just about when you're doing this often, you have a process, right? And I kind of want to learn what Cody's process is, and discuss some picks with them because it has to make sense at the end of the day, right? So I'll definitely, we'll make the graphics for Cody, and so he looks good and feels good. Make him feel welcome on Wake Up. But it'll be a lot of fun to go through that with Cody.
All right, let's get to. I love James, and he definitely blessed you today, Jay Rich. He blessed you today. But we're talking about a damn mock, and then James comes in with something completely. We're not even talking about this, James. We had to save James for the end. We're talking about the mock. James is like, the hell with the mock. I'm trying to get Darnell Mooney. Can y'all help me out with this? So here's the question. Chat, let's help James out. Trying to get Darnell Mooney without overpaying. Dude wants picks, and I have 102, 205, 206, 212, 308, 320. We're not even going to read the rest. You're not giving up any 23 first, so that's a no. And a 2023 second. What should my spending limit be? Definitely not any of the first rounders in 2023. In the hell with your 201. No. So if it's, let's just, off of what we just did, if it's single quarterback, 205 to 212, you're looking at James Cook, Pierre Strong, Jalen Tolbert, David Bell, Zamir White, Trey McBride, John Mechie, your favorite, right? Jasmine had a comment too. She said, you love John Mechie as much as I love Brian Robinson. That's what she said, and neither of them are probably going to be good. What would you want? What would you be comfortable giving up if the guy wants picks? In my opinion, I would probably start with 2.5 and 2.12. That's what I would do. I'd start with 2.5 and 2.12, but I'd be comfortable giving up 2.5 and 2.6 to get Mooney. What about you?
I would be comfortable giving up every single one of those picks in the second round and beyond for Mooney.
Yeah. Same.
Honestly, if we're talking spending limit, that's where I would go at it. Leave 23 out of it. Don't even go there.
Jazz said it. There it is. 2.5, 2.6, and if he says no, throw in a third rounder and be done with it. But for me, I'm with John. I'd start with 2.5, 2.6, and 2.12. That's what I would do. I'd go that way. You can keep one of your mid-seconds. You give up the late one. And if he didn't want that, I would go 2.5 or 2.6, 2.12 in the third rounder. That's what I would give up. No problem. In no question.
Yeah. No question. No, 100%. Mooney's another 1,000-yard receiver this year. Again, what are you really getting? You're really hoping that you get a guy as good as him. So for me, I'm fine. If you want to give up, if he really wants 2.12, take it. I don't care.
And it's super flex.
It is super flex. Get a second round.
It's super flex.
Matter.
Yeah.
You're not getting a receiver as talented as Mooney there, and maybe you trade that 2.12 and you ask for a 23-second back, right? I think there's a world where something like that could happen if they want the draft capital now, take the draft capital later.
Here we go. Let's help Marlon out. Let's get it. should I trade the 107 in a single quarterback league for DK Metcalf? I don't even need to read anything else. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
What? There's no. Yes. Yes. I don't even.
Close.
Marlon, if there's a way for me to send this back to you, I probably wouldn't, but I'll say that I would because this is an easy one. Trade the 107 in a single quarterback league for DK Metcalf 100%. 107 per this mock would have been, if I would have done it, it would have been like Isaiah Spiller, George Pickens, Chris Olave. Give me DK Metcalf. Yes.
Wide receiver 4 in the NFL.
Yes. Make that happen. Make that. You're not getting DK. Honestly, how high would you? What? Like, let's just real quick. Breece Hall's 101, right? Would you trade 102 for DK Metcalf?
Yeah. Why not? Why would I not trade? Again, it's to me. I think the value lies right beyond the 101. 101 is Breece Hall, guaranteed, locked and loaded. He, I think, is probably more valuable than DK, but 102, DK all day long. Don't care if he's on Seattle. He's probably going to be on a new team in the next year or so at worst, or he gets a new quarterback in Seattle, and I'm fine with either situation. Give me DK over the 102 and beyond all day.
I took LaMelo Ball's under last night, and who would have thought they got boat raced out the damn building, and they kept the Hornets starters in.
He kept chucking.
And he when I say he chucked, he would chucked every damn shot that he could take up to the last minute of the game and hit his over. But I did get the Devin Vassell over points, and then Jacob Pirtle.
He was balling.
Who are you talking about?
Oh
Vassell,
my God.
yeah. I added that. I added that late to the slate, and I got him, and then Jakob Pirtle. Brandon Ingram missed our
Can't believe he hit it, man. Can't believe Jakob hit it. It was a late tip-in.
It was a late, because he had like 4 rebounds going into the third, fourth quarter, and I'm like, Lord, and I just went to sleep. I did the reverse psychology where you don't look, and then hopefully it gets better for you. Anyway, neither here nor there. Mr. Blue, thank you for checking out our prop stuff. But yeah, there it is. Oh boy, Jasmine, we love you, Jazz. You are are a wild woman. We gotta get Jasmine. Jazz, we gotta get you in the Discord. Hit the wake up DM so we can get you in the Discord so you could stir the pot over there with the good Destination Debbie patrons, man. I know we will ban Jazz quickly after giving her access to the community. But we just want to say we appreciate y'all tapping in this week. We are planning on having Cody Carpentier on the show on Monday. So real simple, we'll make all this happen. NBA prop bets, there are no games today, thank goodness. Give us a little bit of a break. And then we're back at it on prop bets on Saturday, right? We're going to do some stuff on Saturday, Sunday.
There's Friday.
There is Friday. Right? There is Friday. So we got to do it tomorrow.
Second half of the playing games, right?
Yeah.
Second half of the playing games.
Second half of the playing games. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, like the content, subscribe to the podcast, all of that good stuff. Tap in, 4D Chess, Off the Line Fantasy, Elite Seekers with Ben Eby. We appreciate y'all being here. Y'all have a fantastic, Good Friday for those of you who celebrate this holiday. We got Good Friday,
Easter
Good
Monday.
Friday,
Yep.
Easter, is it Easter Sunday? Easter Sunday.
I don't know. We got Monday off. Do you not have Monday off?
No.
Oh, well, that sucks.
No,
I guess I'll be working either way, so nothing changes.
Go hunt for some eggs. Go have some fun doing that on Sunday. But make sure y'all tap in. Y'all have a good one, and we'll be back next week. We out. Peace.